I come from a very beautiful place called Oaxaca. And in Oaxaca, the belief is that your voice and whatever activity you do every day only counts as an individual when you are part of a community. I think that this was instilled in my life ever since I was a child, and I understood that whenever you do any activities, you are going to contribute to your society, to make it a better community in many different ways. Some people interpret this as Marxist communism, but the origin of it has nothing to do with Marxism. It has to do with the Indian ways, which have permeated the philosophy and the way of thought and the way of life in the south of Mexico. Principally, these regions have survived in their tradition and as well in politics. For me, it's been an important exercise to come back from a place like New York City, where individuality are part of force and strength, and as opposed to in Oaxaca, individuality is kind of frowned upon, only unless it contributes to the bigger picture and bettering your environment and your ecology and your community in general. I have some friends from the Triqui Indian community and also from the Mixtec community that are fighting very much within the educational system, the national educational system in Mexico, to not only preserve native way of thinking and writing in the educational system, but rather creating the programs themselves from the notion in Indian terms rather than the other way around, which has been the way that it has been done in education. So I think that these friends of mine have been very important examples of people who are continuing the native traditions and kind of living in a globalized world, working to get internet in their communities, communicating with Triqui communities here in the United States, as well as Mixtec communities, Zapotec communities, Mazatec communities, I believe as well. I have run into different paisanos, different friends who are living this reality, and it makes me very excited to see it, because I see the young native Indian kids, you know, really savvy on the internet and communicating their needs and their beliefs, and also their approach, which is very modern, as opposed to this thought that somehow being native is backwards and in the past, somehow caught in the past. Yo he tenido el privilegio de conocer a unos maestros bilingües. Algunos de ellos son mi familia, mis tíos, en la región mixteca alta, y también algunos parientes, casi hermanos de la comunidad Triqui. Ellos han tenido la posibilidad de diseñar dentro de la educación bilingüe de sus comunidades las propuestas para que esa educación venga desde el punto de vista de la conciencia indígena y que no sean hechas al revés, como lo que se ha hecho en el pasado, que se crean los sistemas en el idioma español y ya después se traducen al mixteco o al zapoteco. Entonces, lo ideal, yo creo, en nuestro país es de que se generen las ideas originalmente en las comunidades indígenas y de ahí partan los conceptos de vida para la educación bilingüe en todas las regiones de México. I think we're living in a very exciting time where we can connect with people in a particular community that was not possible in the past. And I think this is what's so exciting about creating music and maybe writing a song, placing it on the internet, and not having to have a design by a corporation that will promote your work, but rather just get feedback from your community with the people that you hold things in common, ideals, beliefs, love about music, about tradition, about Mexico, about Latin America, and having this connection, I think, is a beautiful thing. And I think these communities can somehow now make decisions and make change as well. I think in our case, it certainly has created a repertoire that makes us more connected to what the reception is in the audience. And music production has changed because, for example, we had the privilege of recording with Mercedes Sosa a few months back, well, before she passed away. This is very sad, but she was in Argentina and we were in Mexico, and we were able to record over the internet with sound engineers in each place. And I have also just recorded with Kepa Junquera, this Basque musician, great accordionist, who also invited me to sing in Euskera. So we kind of did a recording over the internet and communicated over Skype, and you know, recorded, and it's amazing because you really connect musically. Sometimes people get a little bit, you know, oh, it's off the internet, it's not the same thing. But I don't believe that. I think that the information is amazing. You still connect, you still learn so much from each other. It's been wonderful. Pues este tatuaje representa mis nahuales. Mi nanañú, mi abuelita mixteca, me dijo que el águila es mi nahual mayor, que es mi protector principal, y el cocodrilo, o el lagarto, más bien, el lagarto es el símbolo del año en el que yo nací, en el calendario prehispánico. Y yo me hice este tatuaje cuando crucé un reto como mujer, porque yo quería embarazarme de un bebé, pero bueno, Dios y el universo destinó que esa no va a ser mi vida. Entonces me sentí como una guerrera, y en ese momento, cuando fuimos a Nueva Zelanda, yo le pedí a una artista maori que me hiciera una seña de esa prueba que me hizo la vida en ese momento y que la sobreviví. I think as a musician and a performer, I believe that there can be movement and there can be tone and timbre that can make people respond to emotion. And of course it has something to do with you as an individual developing your instrument, but it also has to do with the different levels of experience. And we're very visual animals, human beings, and we have a very keen sense of what is hip, in the US especially, what is hot and what is cold and what is too heady or what may be totally fun and exciting. And I think what is very exciting for me as a performer is to tune into that kind of instinct that sometimes I may have about singing a song, composing a song about slave women. And I read this very, very depressing story about a woman who was sold into slavery in someplace by Albanian people, and I was really taken, you know, by this. So how can I interpret this emotion and the facts? How can you tie the facts with something that is also artistic, and that something so negative and so dark and so almost unbelievable can somehow be translated into light, into hope, into something that you wish to transform for people. And I truly believe that in art you can make those changes, and you can make a difference in people's emotion about something. But of course there are different levels that are contributing, and for me I love to work with video artists. We've worked with people like Elena Pardo, Gala Sanchez, Enrique Goselin. These are wonderful artists that have worked with video and created images from different narratives that we have chosen to look for in Mexico or in the US. Of course, the immigrant experience has been a very important element in our work, and so we choose images to support our music. No, pues es impresionante lo que se podría hacer para que también los públicos participen más en el trabajo que se está haciendo, para que, aparte de que se mueva uno emocionalmente con el arte, con el canto, con la danza o con lo visual de la narrativa, yo creo que también es posible participar y conocer, por ejemplo, los ritmos básicos que son muy usados en México, por ejemplo, en alguna región o en la costa, o que aborden la historia también, que es muy interesante de México, que han venido esclavos después de Chile y Perú a cierta región, por ejemplo. Todos estos elementos yo creo que se pueden participar más y los públicos pueden ser parte del arte, y eso es muy emocionante en el futuro. Yo creo que el arte puede entrar en nuestras vidas de una manera singular y hace que seamos mejores personas. Yo estoy convencida de eso.